You know what is one thing I love about this so-called sport, Formula One? Like the famous Lennon quote, there are decades where nothing happens and weeks where decades happen. That entire season of 2023 had like zero newsworthy stuff. Meanwhile, the 1 week in between China and Japan have set massive implications for this season, potentially maybe more. Of course, I'm not spoiling what it is until later in the video, but what I'm trying to say is this sport can be too much at times. Anyways, after a short break, we return for round 3 of the 2026 F1 season, that being Japan. The Suzuka circuit is one that is so beloved by many, with the same people citing its brilliant track layout, amazing scenery, and iconic moments from the past. And look, I know, here comes a duck with this terrible takes, but hear me out. I love Suzuka just as much as everyone else. It's a hell of a track to drive on the sim, but can we go somewhere else for once? I know Suzuka has more of a hold on F1, but 1 year at Fuji won't kill you. I like the Fuji circuit, which of course means everyone must accommodate for what I want. Fuji has brilliant scenery too. I mean, for Christ's sakes, it's not called Fuji for nothing. Plus, there have been iconic moments here in the past, such as Kubica and Master's trial by combat, and I don't know, Weber vomiting in his helmet. Look, please, 1 year MBS, 1 year. Anyways, I rambled on Fuji for too long. Round 3 is of course at Suzuka, and despite only being round 3, the season could get really moving here. Melbourne and Shanghai can largely be defined by Ferrari blitzes past everyone at the start, and then Mercedes blitz past 2 laps later. Of course, there are brilliant fights in between, but that's how the season has gone, for a lack of a better term. However, Suzuka can really shake this dynamic up for the fact, well, look at the damn track. Mercedes love straights more than a closeted Christian dad, and Suzuka doesn't really have them. Yes, the everything after the hairpin is basically a straight, but there's still the spoon curve and the chicane there. Plus, the first sector is purely turns, which guess what? Ferrari loves the turns. Personally, I'm expecting fierce competition here, more intense than anything in the season thus far, and I am getting hyped just at the thought of it. So you know the drill by now. Let's go see which teams we shall watch, the drivers to watch, the drama that can affect this weekend, and of course, my predictions for the weekend. Subscribe if you're new to find the One Piece, and let's get to quacking now.
See those clouds up in the corner? That's where the rain is coming from.
Let's begin with the teams to watch, and surprisingly, a lot of teams have pressure this weekend. China revealed that many teams still have their teething issues, and as the season progresses, the margin for error will become less and less. Teams have to get their act together soon, which I guess the only good thing for them right now is how many are having the same issues. So let's begin with, of course, Aston Martin, who have shifted the tectonic plates in the past week. Aston, of course, have not had a good start to the year. Hell, it's barely even a start. Every lap, they are seemingly risking death to just driving the car, which I know every driver is technically doing, but all I'm saying is you're not seeing George Russell vibrating nearly to an orgasm. Aston have a mountain of issues and they need to solve them fast. So what's their solution? Just get someone else to do it. Really, after Otmar left in 2021, Aston have been just doing whatever the fuck. Mike Bootycrack hasn't turned Aston to winning monsters. Get Andy Cowell in. Andy Cowell hasn't turned Aston to winning monsters. Get Adrian Newey in. Adrian Newey hasn't turned Aston to winning monsters. Get Jonathan Wheatley in. These guys have so much money that they really think that is the solution. I'll give them credit though. Mike Crack wasn't advancing the team. Andy Cowell didn't really understand the up and upgrade means it should be an improvement over the previous, and knew he built a car while forgetting about everything a team principal should do. So maybe Wheatley is the cure, since he took shitty ass Sauber to slightly less shitty Sauber with the podium. Plus Audi do seem to be doing pretty good right now. If Wheatley really can't turn the team around, then hey, all respects. But if this is another failed hiring at Aston, just shut the team down, man. It's over. Since we're on Wheatley though, next up is Audi, who I'm starting to get a little bit worried now. Wheatley and Audi, in my opinion, I thought was the new Wolf and Merc, or dare I say, Horner and Red Bull. He just looked so set in place there and seemed like the perfect man to lead the new team. He knew a lot of the inner workings of the sport and used that knowledge to take the team further than they should be. However, I suppose there were some trouble, since apparently Wheatley and Binotto had some disagreements on the team's direction. So in come a fat Stroll check and Wheatley out, where does Aston go from here? Mattia Binotto is said to be taking over team principal duties, and considering how that went last time he was a TP, Audi bros, I don't want to say it's over, but it may be over. Now, maybe Binotto learned from last time, but in the case he hasn't, look on the bright side. At least he'll have the best allegedly legal engine. It sucks too, because Binotto is at his best when he is not determining how the team should operate. He was doing great on the engine development side of things, and now that he'll be present in the team politics again, I just pray they don't lose their momentum, man. I have faith, but that's just because I'm an optimistic person, so I may not be the best source for this situation. Next is Williams, who, man, oh man, if there is a bright side to their season, at least they ain't the only ones extremely overweight. We'll talk about that later, but as for the Williams team, man, I don't know what to say. They just need to perform better and fix their issues with little steps, which, hey man, I believe they can do. James Aou is not a dummy. He knows how to run a team efficiently and maximize results, so I'm sure given time, he will steer the ship back on course. But for now, it is so bleak, especially because look at where we're at, y'all. I am low-key expecting this weekend to be Williams' worst yet, since with their car being super overweight like your mom, I doubt they could find performance here. But hey, if everyone else in the grid blows up and crashes, Williams can make up positions. Yippee, I guess. Next is Haas, who are funnily enough ahead of Red Bull in the standings and P4. Haas are like the opposite Williams. Everyone expected Williams to be the dark horse for 2026 and Haas to be slowly on their way out of the sport, yet Behrman P7 round 1, Behrman P5 round 2, he's been best of the rest in every single race so far. And what makes it scary is he's been very quiet in the process. He's not getting into heated battles spanning multiple laps or getting into incidents. He approaches the car he wants to overtake, overtakes, and then darts off in the distance to repeat the same thing. He has, and I know it's been 2 races, but he has been arguably a top 3 driver so far this season, and I always knew this was in him. To think people were calling him overrated in 2025, go wash your mouth, you fool. Behrman since the junior days has been this clinical and utterly ridiculous fast driver. It's no secret why many are hyped for a future Kimi versus Ollie fight and why they are best friends. They race similarly to each other, and the day that title fight happens, I'll eat like never before. But please stay friends, please, please. Oh yeah, and I guess Ocon is here too. Now for the top dogs, and Red Bull, you gonna let Haas be ahead of you? I don't know, man. Red Bull have easily been one of, if not the greatest disappointment this season. And it sucks too, because that car clearly has pace. Truly, this is the first time Max fans aren't lying about their underdog status. They have performance to be competitive, maybe not with Mercedes or Ferrari, but certainly not behind McLaren. They have a hell of an engine too, but for some reason, maybe because it's a Ford, there just seems to be issue after issue. I'm sure they know the issues and are working on a quick fix, but guys, I know I dislike y'all, but please fight back. And as if it couldn't get any worse, their car is also overweight thanks to the efforts of a certain fan in China. Some random guy leaked that the Red Bull car is actually like 20 kg overweight, which is similar to Williams, and all I'm gonna say is, if they were able to get P3 in Melbourne qualifying, what can they do with a shaved off car and a reliable engine? Next is McLaren, who we could keep short. Just start the fucking race with both cars, laddies. It cannot be this hard. Finally, we of course have Ferrari and Mercedes yet again. I'm expecting their gap to be closer than ever this race due to the slow and medium speed corners in the first half of the track and the high speed corners and straights in the second half. I think their battles will be delicious this weekend, so I'm just excited to see what's up. Plus, thanks to a certain event freeing April up this season, both teams are reportedly working on big upgrades that could debut soon, so let's see if they can get closer to each other. Please, Ferrari, please. But now for the driver to watch, and I believe Max Verstappen is the one who deserves our eyes. Max has had such a terrible start to the year. Crash in the qualifying, bad starts in China plus engine DNF. What's next? A lap 1 crash? He needs not even luck, but just to finish a race where nothing bad happens for once. He is Max Verstappen, and I refuse he is going out this sad. He still got it. It's just somewhere in there. But now for the drama, and let's add on to what we said about Max in the previous segment. There's a couple things with Max. Firstly, he is for sure leaving F1 like very soon. He is not liking these cars whatsoever, and with him not liking them since 2023 and him saying he still won't like them even if he wins every race, I do think he is just tired of the sport. And hey man, I don't blame him since it's clear he is a motorsport purist. He wants that classic look and feel of the sport, which hey, we all have our preferences. So I just don't see Max hanging around for too much longer, and we could probably expect a lot more GT3 appearances from him in the future, which speaking of, Max just took part in a GT3 race this past weekend, and he just looks much happier there, doesn't he? We all grow out of our toys eventually, and considering Max entered the sport before he had a driver's license, it's clear he's had enough. You look at his career too, and it's the average length for most good drivers of about 10 to 12 years, so it's not like he's leaving prematurely. But as for the GT3 race, I mean, he did Max things. His team got pole position, and in the race, he drove some mighty stints to a brilliant win, 1 minute ahead of second. However, in a cruel sense of irony, he got disqualified there there because his team used 7 sets of tires instead of 6, which is over the limit and thus illegal. It's no matter though, since Max was just gathering some experience before doing the 24 hours on Nürburgring, which I am excited to see him partake in. Yes, I know I give Max a lot of shit, but that's because of his driving standards. I got nothing against the guy, and it is still very cool. He's the only F1 driver right now with balls and age on their side to do other motorsports mid-season. If you want to hear more on this topic, I am working on a whole video about this, so stay tuned for that. Now for the other stories, and we got Wheatley going to Aston. So of course, we already knew this happened, and I just don't know how to feel, man. To be honest, I just really hate the Aston Martin team because what they once were, Force India, was an underdog team who made the most out of nothing. Yet after their wish of more resources seemingly came true with the Strolls, they have unironically done worse with all of their new facilities now compared to when they worked out of a fucking McDonald's. Aston keep on hiring and quote-unquote relocating people, and it's starting to piss me off. Look at McLaren, for example. They have money out of the wazoo too, and all the brilliant minds one can ask for, and they have made it super work. Want to know why? Communication and flexibility. The team is a unit, whereas Aston is a bunch of different guys who are brilliant trying to do their own thing instead of one thing for the team. I'm hoping Wheatley can get Aston's act together, but personally, I think the issue is far more bigger than a simple team principle change. Take it from the Ferrari fan. We know it when we see it. Finally, I have Bahrain and Jeddah being cancelled. Now, we knew this would happen for a while now thanks to the two greatest countries on earth, the US and Israel, but I do mention this story because guys, there is no April in F1. What? No F1 in April, which means, I think, teams can get loads of development and understanding done on these new cars, which can see gaps close up if upgrades are ready for Miami in May. Ferrari have multiple shooting and testing days where we could expect some upgrades to be tested, and Mercedes are likely to do the same. So despite there being no races, there will be tons of stories and articles still coming out, so stay tuned for that. Plus, with the spring break essentially, that means we get some lovely spring slop. Winter slop is Kimi almost bankrupting Lotus, summer slop is Braun GP. What is spring slop this time, guys? Comment down below. Shut the fuck up. It's time for my predictions for Japan that I'm pretty sure will be 100% correct. As always, must be stated that we'll predict 3 things: the top 5 in the qualifying, the top 5 in the race, and a random prediction from any session. It should also be noted that these predictions are based on nothing but pure vibes, so bear with me. No sprints this time around, so time for the main qualifying predictions, and I predict that the top 5 on Saturday, starting with 5th, will be Lando Norris, 4th will be Kimi Antonelli, and 3rd will be Lewis Hamilton, and 2nd will be George Russell, and for pole position I have Charles Leclerc, who I could see having a lap of his life. Now for the race predictions, and starting with 5th, I have Oscar Piastri for once, and 4th I have Kimi Antonelli, and 3rd I have George Russell, and 2nd I have Charlie Kirk, and the winner of the 2026 Japanese Grand Prix is Lewis Hamilton, and I think maybe this is a bit too much fantasy. Time for my random prediction. I think in the race, there will be a safety car for Max, who just continues to sink. Also, remember, for a chance to appear in the winners and losers, go join my Discord to make your predictions. So that was the preview for Japan. Like I said, I'm expecting a really good race here, and considering how good the previous 2 have been, I don't know if I can handle it. However, I do have a tendency to jinx everything, so there's an equal chance this race can suck balls like many in the past. Oh well, we'll just have to wait and see, but we should at least have a spectacle still. Anyways, I want to give a quick shout out to all members of the flock for the continued support. Make sure to join if you want cool benefits, as well as just helping me out. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe since it really helps me out. Make sure to let me know in the comments what your predictions are. And as always, have an amazing day.
Good weather for the duck.